The intention of this video is to highlight just a small sampling of our teachers' efforts, a day in the life of the Academy, if you will, and also to showcase the incredible work that students are doing in our classrooms. It's interesting. At this point in the life of the Academy, we are able to put more tools and options into the hands of students and teachers than ever before. But at the same time, teachers and students come to the Academy and to the classroom with their own prior experiences and preferences with technologies and devices. So in an effort to support this shift in the landscape, we realized that it was important to incorporate real expertise in teaching and learning into our information technology office. Transitions like this afford us an opportunity to extend ourselves beyond the traditional support models of the past and connect us more deeply to classrooms. Within this context, we created the Educational Initiatives team to help respond to new and emerging environments.
One of the major initiatives that the Technology Office has been engaged in this year is the official introduction of our new learning management system, Canvas. And so far, about half the teachers are using it for one or more of their courses. And overall, the response has been pretty positive. And the nice thing is that Canvas has a lot of features and functions that seem to be allowing teachers to try different things or organize their course in different ways. So it's been interesting to note how teachers are starting to use it.
What excites me about Canvas is it allows me to do a lot of things outside the classroom that I couldn't possibly have done before. Canvas allows me to have a classroom community that exists outside the walls of the classroom. So I could create a solution space for each assignment where kids can go in and edit them sort of communally, and they create their answer sheets and they sort of model maybe what I write, what others write, and they cooperate and sort of fill out these solutions. And I just like the atmosphere that they're taking more control of their studies. And then it allows sort of the classic, now classic, it's been around, the idea's been around for a while, the classic flipping of the classroom where I can provide materials for them to learn some subject and then come in, do problems in class. And that order just makes much more sense to me. I think my students are engaging math in a way they wouldn't have several years ago because Canvas is a platform that allows them to write about mathematics with the notation also. I can actually start talking about how you might write about mathematics. And so when they're writing one of their solutions, I think they're having to dig new channels through their mind. Solving a problem now hopefully resembles more like telling a story than just like putting some equations and expressions down and circling the answer.
So we need to watch a lot of films, and before it's always problematic when you only have one DVD for an entire class. So what I love about Canvas is that we can hook it up to MediaSpace, and then everyone can watch it at the same time. I can project it even from Canvas directly in our rooms. Later on, once we've read through the entire 5 acts of The Tempest, is I'm going to take clips from different filmed portrayals of The Tempest and have the students look at them scene by scene. And I think looking at the varying interpretations of the different movies will really help them figure out the breadth of what a Shakespeare production can look like, or how malleable the text is in many ways. You could look at it from, classical dress to all the way to set it in World War II or 20th century America or anything like that. And I think it's really important for students to be able to see all the different possibilities, to imagine the different ways in which Shakespeare is still relevant to today. A nice way of doing that, though, I think, is, I really do think it's through MediaSpace, because beforehand, when I teach it, you need to have like 10 DVDs and then pop one in and out. And logistically, no one wants to sit in class where you're like scrubbing through, you know, what chapter is that on? So.
So Quizlet is one of the external apps that you can add into your Canvas really easily. And, well, first of all, they sign up on a Google Doc sheet, which is also incorporated into Canvas, so that they each sign up for a particular lesson that they're going to create a set of flashcards for. Maybe on one side is Chinese characters, on the other side is Pinyin or English. All the students can see it, and it looks just like a little mini Quizlet flashcards right within Canvas, and it preserves all the functions that Quizlet has, so they can not only do the learning mode, they can do the testing mode, they can do the game mode right there. They don't have to go anywhere, just right in Canvas. And it makes them more responsible because they really have to do it right. If they don't do it right, some students are studying all wrong. I mean, a lot of them study from the textbook, which is also on iPad, but they use it to test themselves. Canvas has great features for collaboration. And then for example, for group projects, each group can set up their own Canvas course site, which is really neat that it's like their own mini Canvas course. Just within the group, they can do it. And then they can do files, they can do pages. Everything they do is within that group and nobody else can see it. They really do, they do act as a group. And I think that feeling that you are acting as a group, you're submitting something together, that makes that collaboration that much more powerful.
Another focus of our attention and efforts this year has been portable devices. The students can choose to bring a laptop or a tablet of their preference to campus with them, so that each student has a device available for use inside and outside of classroom. And the nice thing about this is that when students have been assigned a creative project or a multimedia assignment or something like that, they can record audio and shoot video and manipulate images and do whatever they need to do much more easily because they have this really powerful device with them at all times.
So we do a lot of creative projects in class. They create a book on iPad using Book Creator is the app. And the ebook itself is has so much more content that you can put in a paper book. So they could put in video, they can put in audio, they put in video of the screenshots of them writing characters on their iPads. So I can check their stroke order, which is something impossible in the past. And they write a skit and they provide the script as part of their book, and then they record them acting out the skit. So there's their video right on that book, and then next to it is their script. So I can check their pronunciation, I can check their grammar. Each book is so unique and different, and they really, especially for the students who love to be creative, they run with it.
I asked my students to do some sort of media project that would show me that they had understood what we were reading, but also then go beyond simple understanding and tell me that they knew what was going on and what they could project kind of things. We were reading a book, and we were also studying a certain historical part of Franco-Algerian relations. So I gave them the option to either develop the historical side, develop the characters in the book, or to look at the philosophy. I think this type of assessment allows all types of students to thrive. It gives them opportunities to excel, or at least to show that they're able to do things they're not necessarily able to do on the spot in class. But then it allowed me to see what they really knew. And that's the hardest part, I think, of assessment, is what are we assessing? And they all were able to communicate something. And I think that's what language instruction really is all about. Whereas in the past, I think a lot of times I would do small little cool assignments with technology or outside of, kind of a traditional assessment. Now I'm tending to go towards those little checkups being more traditional, and the bigger projects I'm trying to think of in different ways. And I think one reason they're possible now at our current moment, as opposed to when I started teaching, 16 years ago, is they can pull out a device from their pocket and make a video presentation in 5 minutes.
C'est déjà très très difficile.
Another project that was a little bit different. It developed a little bit more of the historical side of the class. This young lady did a great job on the history. It was visually just stunning. She had practiced. Her French was perfect, and I think it really was probably the project that took most advantage of the technology that's out there in general and on this campus.
Le gouvernement de Vichy. Sur 8 novembre 1940.
It gave a student who didn't necessarily love the literature we were reading, it gave her an opportunity to follow her passion, all while showing me that she had read the book, she had understood it, and it put it in context. But it allows, I think she will remember all of it more because she was able to follow her passion, all while staying within the context of the course.
Teachers and students are obviously doing a lot of great things with and without technologies here on campus. I think it's important to acknowledge that when we introduce new systems and processes, Canvas, devices, that comes with challenges. And it's no surprise that some of the challenges are technological and some of them are logistical. I think we forget that some of the challenges are also pedagogical. When we have a new tool or a new way of doing things, as teachers, we have to ask ourselves the questions about how best to use that tool or process for our students. And sometimes it's easy to adjust, and sometimes it requires some more rethinking of what we do.
So one of the dangers is once you start seeing that you could do all these different things, then you start wondering if you need to do all these different things. So you just flat out ask too much of everybody and yourself and start to, so you have to figure out what you're going to make them responsible for and what you're expecting them to do. And but that's a good thing anyway. It's a question of pedagogy. And
it really surprised me how many devices these students have. I think this is the first time I realized that nearly all of my students come in with at least an iPad and a smartphone, if not other devices that I haven't even seen before. So, and I also marvel at the fact that they're of a generation that has watched and downloaded and viewed so much media content, but they don't necessarily have the media literacy to make sense of that. And so part of what I teach in English 300 is also how to be critical on the things that we're consuming.
I give the students so much freedom to, being able to access the files, the events, the syllabus, the assignments. It's all there for them, so that they do need to be more responsible, because I'm not printing out paper copies anymore for them. They need to be more proactive about organizing their file, because they don't just have the notebook in front of them. I make video tutorials for them. So I make screencasts of how to do all these different things on Canvas. And I show, sort of the first day's assignment, they have to go through these video tutorials and they have to submit a sample assignment to me. So once they complete that sample assignment, I know they're ready to do the other real assignments.
These students obviously have grown up with extremely powerful technology as a given for them. They're not quite as tech savvy as maybe we think they are, right? They're always around technology and they use it every day, but they don't necessarily fully utilize the potential.
Part of our work is to make sure that students and teachers can use the things that they have. So we've been really focused this year on Canvas, getting the word out about Canvas and giving teachers the opportunity to learn how to use it. So that's involved everything from formal trainings to informational lunches to drop-in sessions. Another thing we've tried to get the word out about is lynda.com, which is an amazing resource for any teacher that wants their students to use any kind of software in class. It's a great online resource so that students can actually teach themselves the software, and it removes the burden of software instruction from the instructor. So that's been a focus of our efforts as well. Part of our work is also on the conceptual side of things. Lilia and Adrian and others have raised really good questions about the impact on students of living in a really media-rich and hyper-connected world. Through a grant from the Abbott Academy Association, as well as generous funding from the Dean of Faculty and Dean of Studies offices, I'll be able to bring guest instructors to campus this summer for some professional development around this theme of digital literacies and helping students develop skills for the world that we live in. So through some workshops and some collaborative work with teachers, the goal is to have good conversations about what this means for Andover students here uniquely, and also to develop some models for how to pursue these skills and habits of mind with students in the context of academic courses and within existing curricula. The students and faculty here are doing amazing work, and we still have more work to do. It'll be interesting to see where this all takes us and what we learn.